Hello, QPR fans and Players TV, home and away. Deejay Ranger back in the place once again with an ex-QPR player exclusive interview with the one, the only Mr. Terry Mancini. How are you doing, Mr. Mancini?
Fine, thank you, DJ. Fine.
I've got you onto the channel just to ask you a few questions about your playing time, etc. at QPR, if that's all right.
Yeah, it's good. Fine, if I can remember.
Yeah. Don't worry, nothing major. It's just the basic questions. The first one could be QPR related. If not, it's just a general footballing question. When growing up as a young boy, did you support any team, or did you have any favourite player that you like watching to make you decide, I want to become a footballer when you get older?
No, I didn't. There were so few in those days. I think the FA Cup was the only game that was ever shown live. So the only time I ever saw a game as a youngster was when the FA Cup final came around. But no, I didn't. Football wasn't something that I thought I was going to earn a living at and play. So no, I just grew up and enjoying life as a kid.
Okay, cool. Next question: what year did you join QPR?
I joined QPR in October 71.
Okay, that's a good year, by the way. That's the same year I was born, so that's a good.
Oh, is it? Oh, well, it must be a great year then. Some good wines around in those days.
Okay. Next question. What team did you make your QPR debut against?
Sheffield Wednesday away.
Okay.
We drew 0-0.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. And going on to the next question. Who did you score your first QPR goal against?
I believe it was Fulham. Fulham might have been the FA Cup. I was at Lake Norient, and they decided that I was surplus to requirements. The new manager decided that I was getting past it. And it's a strange thing because I went on to play for another 8 years. So he was out a little bit in his calculations. But Fulham came in for me. And I had the meeting with Bill Dodgin, the manager, and it was all agreed. We sat there, an evening discussing wages, and they were going to pay 25 grand. Everything was agreed. He left, and he said, "I'll phone you in the morning. You'll come to the ground, come to Craven Cottage, and sign the papers, sign the contract." So, all right, fine. So I was sat there waiting for the phone call, which never came. So I went back to train at QPR the following day to find that. Went back to train at Lake Norient the following day to find that Gordon Jago had jumped in and sort of said that was I still available, which I was, obviously. So they signed me for 25 grand. Okay. Apparently Fulham's directors went back because I was 28, decided that I was a bit too old. And they wanted to go for a younger player that would last them a little bit longer. My first goal for QPR was, strangely enough, against Fulham in the FA Cup.
You gave him a gentle reminder that you can still play. And
it wasn't so gentle. It wasn't so gentle. It was quite, kidding. Yeah.
I can imagine. That's a great story, by the way, Terry. Next question. Obviously, you've played X and Y match against the QPR. Whilst playing for QPR, was there any memorable game that you stood out for you whilst playing for Rangers, in particular?
No, they were all playing. If you ever had the opportunity and the chance to be a professional footballer or a professional sportsman in anything, playing at the top level in whatever you decide you're going to be a sportsman at is nothing better. So every event, every match, every game is exciting. Nothing really stands out from the next one. I was very fortunate. I played in the best team I ever played in. Lads, Parksy, Clement, Gillard, McClintock, Venables, Francis, Leach, Givens, Bowles, Thomas. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, absolutely. We were brilliant. We were playing football then like they are today.
Yeah.
On pitches that were absolutely muddy.
Unlike today's pitches.
Unlike today's carpets, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Great players that you just mentioned alongside yourself, obviously, Terry. What a side to play and be involved in. I mean,
oh yeah, we won. We got promoted. We finished second to Burnley in the second division.
Yeah.
In my second season, and well, we went into the first division. I think we finished first division in our first season. Okay. But games we played again. We played games against top teams and won a lot of them and held our own in most of them. So we were quality players in a quality team and great pals.
The list that you named off there was just says it all, really. To be honest, we all then named them great players that we had in that squad.
Yes.
And I can imagine it must have been great to play as well. Like every game, and I know like you had some tough battles probably as well amongst them games where you've won or drawn or even lost. But you know, it's part of playing within a squad, as you know yourself. With regards to like away games, did you room with anyone in particular, or did it just switch?
No, it moved around. It moved around at the start when I first joined. I can't remember actually who I roomed with, because you always, when you travelled overnight or stayed overnight, there was two to a room. Now I think you get to your own room, but there was two to a room, and I probably shared with one or two of the lads. I can't honestly remember who, but eventually I always shared with Venables or McClintock.
Okay. What would they like to room with in general?
Oh, great. I mean, TV was well, he went on to, you know, he used to do a lot of the coaching himself.
Yeah.
Those days, they used to leave all the free kicks to him. Bobby Campbell and Gordon Jago went in and he would then conduct all, you know, he would get us all organised in terms of the free kicks. He took all the free kicks, but then he had us placed in positions that he wanted us to work in and such. So he started off at an early age in that respect. But Venables, McClintock, I mean, he'd come from Arsenal as captain. They'd won the double, etc. And I played alongside him. And even at the age I was then over 30. He taught me more in 2 years playing alongside him than I'd learned from anyone else all the way along. So he was top drawer.
I can imagine like playing for a club like the size of Arsenal and whatever players he played alongside himself at the top, you know. It can only be good for, irrespective of what age players are at the clubs he goes to, plays on for, like he comes to Rangers, helped yourself out and maybe helped many more out as well, even though you know, he's been there, he's done it with Arsenal, he won the double, but experience is key, isn't it? It helps you.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, he came from Arsenal. He was a free transfer from Arsenal. There's a great story where the money he got because he was a free transfer, because no fee was exchanged with Arsenal. So he got the fee, and he went on to buy his house, which he still lives in now. Okay. So that was nice. But the role was reversed when I went the opposite way and went to Arsenal.
Okay.
And it was a great story. I mean, I wasn't as good a player as Frank McClintock, so I didn't dream of wanting the amount of money that he used to tell me he got. But I wanted, you know, a signing on fee, which we only in those days only got 10% of the transfer fee. So £2.5 grand, £25,000 fee, £2.5 grand. Once you pay tax, I maybe got £17.50 or something for it. Yeah. And I wanted a bit more than that. So I asked, when I went over eventually to sign the contract, when it was finally all agreed, I'd gone over, right, you want £5 grand, you want £5 grand. Don't forget, you want £5 grand, you want £5 grand. So I walked into Arsenal through the marble halls, sat down, and it was Thursday afternoon. I had to sign quickly. So, because I was playing West Ham on the Saturday, so they said, "All right, this is the wages. How much are you on?" So I said, "I'm on £100 a week." So Bertie went, "That's ridiculous." He said, "You're worth twice as much as that," and wrote in £200. I went, Jeez, that's great. Then he read out the bonuses. It was £60 a point. £60 a point. If you won a game, you only got 2 points, but an extra 120 quid.
Oh,
So
yeah.
suddenly you're like, I'm up here in wages wise, and so and I said, all right, great, terrific. I said, that's marvelous. Yeah. So he's all right, sign here. So I went to sign, and I'd forgotten all about asking for the £5,000. So he said, as I was about to sign, I suddenly remembered. I went, excuse me, Mr. Me. I said, great move for me. I'll do whatever you want. I'll be here, and I'm your man, etc. I said, but I just wanted to, if I could get £5,000 in it for me. So he grabbed hold of the contract and he went to pull it away. And he said, what? If you need an incentive to sign for Arsenal, you're not the player for me. Boom, I put my hand on the contract, signed it quickly. He said, no, no problem, no problem. And when I left 3 years later, I went to collect my paperwork and my boots and all of my stuff. I picked it all up, got to the car, looked at it, there was an envelope there. Well, no, nothing on it. So I opened the envelope and there was a cheque in it for £5,000.
Okay, that's a nice touch. Obviously, you know, like as you stated, you know, you felt you wanted the right money for, like, you know, at the time, like normal people do. You know, if you're doing extra work, people generally want more money for doing the extra workload. But
Exactly.
that doesn't happen all the time. But you know, that's a great story to hear in regards that you actually got your.
Well, that's why they're such a quality club. That's why Arsenal was such a quality club, because they, you know, I mean, it was Rangers was great, brilliant, wonderful. The new stadium, the new stand, everything. But Arsenal was, you know, it was a step further on.
Let's be honest, Arsenal are a bigger club than QPR. To be fair, you know,
Exactly.
Next question, Terry. What was it like playing at Loftus Road in front of a full house, or even when it wasn't as full? I mean, it's so close to the pitch. You know, it's.
Well, when I first joined, they still had the chicken run, and it was still the old stadium.
Yeah.
When I signed from Orient, and that summer or that end of season, the builders came in, and when we returned the following season, the new stadium was well underway. Yeah. Jim Gregory, the chairman, had I pulled out all the stops, and following season we had this fantastic stadium, which is now it's a lovely stadium, but it's not as fantastic as some of the ones they build in there. They are built. Yes, it was a top for us and the team that was going to play in it. And we played, I still think it's the biggest crowd they've ever had. We played Leeds in the first division, and I think the crowd was, which is the biggest one still for QPR, a crowd of just over 35,000. How the hell they got me, I've got no idea, but they did, and that's the crowd. So I played in front of the biggest crowd at QPR.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, it was. I don't know how many leads were in that crowd on that day, but you know, it's never mind. It's our highest attendance, and well, yeah, and as you said about the stadium being built, you know, it must have been great to go from like next to nothing, and you see these like structures being put up. You know, your fans can't beat it.
No, I know. So it was a lovely stadium, a modern stadium at the time. You know, so. So while everything moves on and the stadium's being built today different altogether, that time Rangers was a marvellous stadium.
Okay, next question. Do you keep in contact with any ex-teammates from your playing days at QPR? Obviously, years ago it was just maybe phone, text, emails, or whatever, you know, the case may be. But nowadays with social media as well, do you ever keep in contact with any ex-team?
Yeah. I'm in touch with McClintock, with Frank frequently. We have lunches, comes to a few events I put on. Okay. Dave Thomas, Don Givens, you know, Dave Thomas, I don't know if you probably know, or if he's now blind.
Yes,
and he has a guide dog. So it's a strange thing how you can be such a great sportsman and athlete as he was, and you end up in that situation. But I'm hoping to organise a day where we raise money for Guide Dogs Association for him, because he's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, they brought him out on the pitch at QPR home game. I think I don't think it was a couple of seasons ago possibly, and you know, look, because they're doing it forever thing down at QPR. Like I'm sure they do at other clubs. And he come out, and then, you know, he come out with the dog and stuff, and you know, the fans pat him and stuff, and you know, as well they should, because he obviously is a great player. like
I
Manny.
mean, he was brilliant. He was, and he's such a nice guy. He absolutely one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Yeah, yeah. It was a pleasure kind of watching him as well, like many others at the club as well. Just a couple more questions, that's all right, Terry.
Yeah, sure.
Was there any jokers in the squad when you were playing at QPR?
Everyone was a joker. Everyone had their little turn. Everyone wound someone up.
Yeah.
But all the wind ups used to be against Tony Hazel. Hazel was the brunt and the butt of everyone's wind ups and stories. So unfortunately, he never got away with anything. Anything he said, he tried to make fun of, went down like a lead balloon. So, but everyone was a joker.
I suppose with everyone getting involved in having a joke and a bit of a banter and stuff, the camaraderie amongst the players obviously helped in the team with results and stuff and games, etc. and so forth.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you don't have a team, if you're not friends on the pitch and off the pitch, how can you possibly be successful? So, yeah, I know we got on ever so well. It was most of it was all wind ups anyway, and.
Yeah.
And just a laugh and a giggle at the expense of somebody, you know. But I can't expose some of the stories because I might get taken to court.
Okay, we'll leave that for another time, mate. With regards to like games in general for QPR, I mean, like compared to like nowadays where they have music, different players have different warm-up modes and pre-match rituals. Was there any kind of stuff at Rangers? Was there any music played, or did you have any particular pre-match rituals, or any players have any certain kind of quirky stuff?
No. We went out in those days, unlike today. We went out in those days partly because the pitches were so bad. You didn't want to spend half an hour warming up on a pitch and ruin it before you actually went on it to play.
Of course.
So we only went out 5 minutes before kickoff.
Yeah.
If I went out half an hour now, I'd never lasted an hour and a half. I mean, I wouldn't have lasted the match if I went out and did the warm ups that they do today. But it was just it never happened. We didn't have any music. There was no music. We were concentrated. We were a proper team. And well, I mean, as you can see from the likes of Venables and McClintock, Bowlesy, Don Givens, players, Parksy, etc. I mean, there was no messing around. Everything was business.
Okay, and just a final question for myself, if that's all right, Terry. Can you give me and the QPR fans watching this Q&A interview an overall summary of your time spent playing for QPR, please?
It would be the best 4 years of my career. In terms of my playing career, best 4 years as a team in a team that I played in. They were absolutely. It took me off a different level. I loved every minute of it. Loved the players. Loved the stadium. Loved the ground. Loved the supporters. It was brilliant. Absolutely best time in my life. I
can imagine, and playing alongside all them players that you mentioned previously, that helped as well, I suppose. You know, because
of course.
You know,
of course.
You want to
the
go,
best.
Yeah.
Sorry?
You want to go to your workplace and enjoy it, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ups and downs, but you know, if you can enjoy it and have your colleagues around you in the same position and doing the same thing, then great. You know, it makes life a little bit easier. Right?
Absolutely. I would imagine everybody in who has a job and who goes to work every day wants to have the same. Everyone to have the same attitude. Everyone to be comfortable when they go to work and enjoy it.
Of course. Just one quick final thing now. Obviously, after finishing football and stuff, are you still involved in football anyway, or what are you up to these days?
No, I don't go to games. I watch the football I see sitting on the sofa. Yeah. I don't know. You just get beyond that now. I mean, there's so many games on TV now that you don't have to, unless you're a really true supporter. You don't need to go to stadiums and such. But fortunately there are still people who do, and it's a great afternoon out.
Yeah. up and down the country. It's
Absolutely,
part
yeah.
of it, as you say, it's like, the football is part of it. Obviously, you want your team to win, but it's part of the day out. You meet your mates, your friends, and stuff, and that's all part of it. You have a laugh and a joke where we go to the pub for a beer, or whatever, etc. Have something to eat, and before and after, or just either one or the other.
Exactly. Yeah, I had a cousin who was a Spurs supporter.
Okay.
And he went. He lived West London. He went every home game. He went to White Hart Lane in the old stadium. Then long years and years ago, and he stood in the same spot on the terrace with a group of guys who went to the home games, every home game, and all stood in the same spot. And he did that for 20 years.
I mean.
So it just, the people just go, and it's part of their weekly life.
Yeah, of course. And there's many more fans like that out there that do that as well. It's
I'm sure there are. Yeah, absolutely.
and it's maybe been handed down through families for a number of years and years and years, and continues to do so. Obviously, once the pandemic is kind of quietened down,
It won't ever go away. But now they've got this vaccine about to come out, so hopefully we can look forward to starting life normally again.
Yes, let's hope so, Terry. Just want to say thank you very much for joining myself, Deejay Ranger, on QPR Fans and Players TV, home and away, with an exclusive Q&A interview about your time at QPR. That's it for myself, Deejay Ranger, with the one and only Mr. Terry Mancini. We're out of here. Come on, you R'ss.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.